Hi everyone, my name is Arvin Olano and welcome to my YouTube channel. So, nobody asked, but in today's video I am sharing my top tips on how to decorate with neutrals like a pro. So decorating with neutrals is more than just picking white and beige and cream and calling it a day. It's definitely a form of art and skill, and with a little bit of practice, you can also master it in your own home. There is a ton of benefits when you're decorating with neutrals, like you're always gonna have that timeless and classic look. Your space will feel inviting, soothing, calm, and I feel like we all need a little bit of that these days in our homes. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the first tip, which is how to pick the proper neutrals for your home. I actually want you to take a look at this photo of a canyon. Now, this will make sense in a little bit, okay? When you look at this photo, there's a ton of different neutral colors playing harmoniously together. There's different saturations and different gradients, different tonalities. Nature can be a huge inspiration when you're looking for a neutral color story. Imagine if this canyon was all the same color, rust or red, or all the same beige. It would feel really flat, and the same idea goes for your home. When you're picking out your neutrals, you want to make sure you're picking a variety of neutral colors from light to dark. That way there's that gradient effect and everything kind of blends in seamlessly. Okay, so let's take a look at this beautiful example. It's a living room designed by Amber Interiors, and you can see a really nice gradient of neutrals working so well together. And this idea will help to create a dimensional space when you're decorating with neutrals. You can see this beautiful tone of like a sage green on the accent chairs. There's light and dark pillows on the sofa, and then you get this beautiful wood tone on the ceiling. Everything kind of goes together, it matches, but they're not all one color. Now, this living room may not be exactly your style, but you can take a lot of inspiration from photos like this and you can apply it into your own home, whether you are modern, bohemian, transitional. You don't want something that's just black and brown or white and brown, because then it will feel really flat. It doesn't look interesting, and then it starts to feel a little bit boring. Moving on to the next tip, which is how to choose the right piece of furniture for your neutral home. Now, when it comes to your largest pieces, think your dining table, your sofa, your rug. You want to keep it as neutral as possible. You want to get colors like cream, white, black, tan, and beige. That way you have a nice solid foundation when you start styling and decorating your home. It's a lot easier to switch out your accessories when you get bored compared to, let's say, if you get tired of your bright blue velvet sofa. Let's take a look at this dining room photo by Mason Trouville, and you can see that the largest piece of furniture is so simple. It's a plank table in black, and he really allowed all the accessories, the light fixture, the chairs to accessorize this room and make it sing. Here is a bedroom example from Sean Anderson Design with keeping things simple. The bed is a gray upholstered, really simple bed, and he really used the throw blanket, the green lumbar, and that rustic vessel to style up the space and not make it boring, right? And then you have these gray pleated curtains to add texture. This is such a smart way to keep things kind of minimal, and when they get tired or get bored of this styling, you can get a different throw blanket, maybe switch out the vessel to a sculpture. Another great example is this living room by Jeremiah Brent. Ooh, you guys, look at this styling with the white sofa, this really quiet, abstract piece that's really large, and they styled it up with lots of throw pillows with different stripes, different prints, and I love the play of texture in this space as well, which brings us to my next tip, which is when you're decorating with neutrals, you want to make sure you're adding lots and lots of texture. know everyone says that word, but how do you really do it? When you're thinking about texture, you want to add things that are tactile, that you want to touch, you know? You want to like, ooh, that feels nice. Actually, one of my favorite ways to add beautiful texture is through a rug, right? Think about hand-woven wools or silk. Or if you're on a budget, a jute rug is a perfect way to lay a foundation in your space that has so much texture. I'll actually link my favorite jute rugs down below because, whew, I can't get enough of beautiful jute rugs. Another great way to add some texture in your space is through your textiles. Go for something that has a hand-woven quality. Think knitted pillows, linens, hemps, cottons. You want to feel it, right? Look at this living room moment by Gilded Hearth. That rug gives me so much texture. And the leather accent chair on the right, whoo! There is so many different ways you can add texture, you guys. You can do your vessels, your accessories, and you always want to keep in mind playing with different shapes, which brings us to my next point. So my next tip to decorate with neutrals like a pro is to play with different shapes. Let's look at this photo by Decorno5 and notice the triangular lamp, the round accent table, and the really kind of square accent chair. There's something interesting in every little corner of this space that makes you just like want to know more. Here's another great example of using shapes as a statement. Look at this irregular mirror on the wall, the round accent chairs and the stools, and that really beautiful vintage travertine coffee table. All right, another Jeremiah Brent photo. I mean, need I say more about using shapes? Look at this art piece with the oval shapes, the triangular lamp. Another example I can think of is if you have a square coffee table, make sure you go for like a rounded accent table next to it, because getting another square will feel a little bit boring. Or if you have like a squared off sofa, make sure your accent chairs have more of that curved arm, sloped arm, or a curved back. That way you're creating that variety. Comment down below if we are seeing eye to eye with this like idea of bringing in different shapes. So my next tip to decorate with neutrals like a pro is to create contrast. Contrast, contrast, contrast. Having contrast in your space is key to creating a visually impactful design. Now, think light with dark, delicate with substantial, masculine and feminine. These are all contrasting ideas that you can practice in your space. Look at this photo with a bright white wall, but the art is black and dark, and it immediately draws your eyes in. Here's another great example of creating contrast. You have a white, simple sofa against this dark kind of olive. Is that a shiplap? Yeah, it's almost like a shiplap. That is so nice. You can really see that sofa just pop out of the walls. And then the dark pillows on the sofa is another contrasting moment. And then look at the rug. The rug is a dark kind of floral print. There's lots of yin and yang happening in this photo. That contrasting effect is always gonna make your eyes think like, wow, this space is so dimensional and so interesting. All right, my last tip to decorating with neutrals like a pro is to add a little bit of vintage. Now, you can have a modern home, but you can still use a little bit of vintage, just one or two pieces to create a beautiful space. Having that vintage piece can touch on all the points that we talked about today on adding some contrast, texture, a variety of colors. Vintage is a great way to add personality and make your homes feel unique. I actually want to show you this shelf that I styled this weekend on how to decorate with vintage, keeping it neutral but still really impactful. When you're decorating your surfaces with neutral pieces, go for things that are interesting. Think footed bowls, footed stools, interesting sculptures that allow your eyes to kind of like, ooh, look at that. Or wait, no, look at that. Wait, look at that little candle holder next to that vessel. I love seeing little objects like this in a home because it helps to tell a story. It feels global, it feels well-traveled. All right, everyone, that was it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you found it helpful, make sure you sound off in the comments down below and let me know. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.